Welcome to another Assessment Academy training video. Rubrics Design and Use. In this video I will be explaining some basics of rubrics and show how examples of rubrics are used at Siena College. Rubrics are assessment tools that identify criteria and performance levels. There are many advantages to applying rubrics to student work. Rubrics help faculty articulate specific criteria and corresponding performance levels for each. Rubrics operationalize what is expected from students from an assignment or learning experience. These expectations are specific and operationalized. Rubrics improve the consistency of grading. As such, rubrics can improve student learning as well as learning experience. Shown here is a problem-solving rubric from AAC&U's Value. AAC&U's definition of problem solving is the process of designing, evaluating, and implementing a strategy to answer an open-ended question or achieve a desired goal. On this rubric, levels of performance are listed across the top as capstone, milestone, and benchmark, and a score associated with each. Performance criteria listed at the head of every row, and usually are accompanied by a description. Work is assessed by the criteria listed under the scales. For example, define problem in the capstone scale demonstrates the ability to construct a clear and insightful problem statement with evidence of all relevant contextual factors. Next are the scales of milestones, followed by benchmark. Now here's one of Siena College's core creative thinking rubrics. In this creative thinking rubric, the scales are does not meet standards, meet standards, and exceed standards. Performance criteria are originality, innovative thinking, embracing contradictions, risk-taking, elaboration, and acquiring competencies. Here is an example of a checklist rubric from the French department on cultural literacy. A checklist rubric does not require scales or different levels of performance. Performance criteria or given tasks are listed on the left, while the scores are given on the right. Grades range from 0 to 5. Scores are totaled up and placed at the bottom and followed by any comments. And now we're ready to create a sample rubric. So to start off, I'm going to show some aspects of a rubric. The scale goes on top. There are the column headers. And then the performance criteria are going to be the row headers. And then you put the description of the criteria in each one of the boxes where the scale and the criteria performance intersect to show what the levels are. And now we will create our own rubric from scratch. I'm going to call it our assignment task. Finding an escalator and taking it either up or down. And we'll use the scale points of mastery, above average, average, below average, and failure. So let's see, our first performance criteria be entering the escalator. How well you get on the escalator. And for mastery, stepping on a single fully emerged step with both feet. Above average, we'll say stepping on 2 separate steps so that your front leg bends and rises while your back leg stays straight. Or how Buddy the Elf rides the escalator. Average, stepping on the escalator and losing your balance as if you don't know the steps were moving. That'll be our average description of entering. Below average, stepping on the divide between 2 stairs so that when they start to separate, you get the feeling of, oh, I'm gonna die. And failure, Entering the down escalator to go up. Optional criteria: looks of disdain, knocking over people, coming down, and comments like, "This escalator is broken." Next performance criteria will be riding. How efficiently you ride the escalator. And we'll say holding onto the railing while ascending or descending. Or feet firmly planted while letting the escalator do most of the work. Above average of riding, we will say it's running up the escalator while gripping the railing on each side. Our average, we'll say not holding onto the railing and ascending, descending, or standing still without holding the railings and possibly being thrown forward if the escalator stops abruptly. Below average, we'll say riding the railing as the escalator moves and possibly falling off completely. Or sitting on the stairs, being at risk of getting your clothes stuck in the end of the escalator and becoming an urban legend. And finally, failure, riding an elevator. Our next performance criteria: courtesy, how you conduct yourself while riding the escalator. This is mastery. Stand facing the direction you are traveling and to the driving side of the country you are in, so people may pass if needed. So in London, you stand on the left, and I don't know if the escalators going up actually go down. In America, stand on the right, the people pass on the left. Above average scale, stand facing the direction you are traveling on either side so people can pass if needed, but they would have to bob and weave between people. So yeah, it's not as courteous. Average, stand facing the direction you are traveling in the middle and move to a side when someone excuses themselves, possibly causing the back and forth indecision dance with the person. Those are always fun. Alright, and below average we'll say is stand facing the opposite way you were traveling, causing you to get looks of worry and awkwardness from those traveling behind you. And for failure, moving about the escalator, jumping up and down, while bumping into people and shouting the lyrics to the Three's Company theme song. Finally, we'll do exiting, how well you exit the escalator. So mastery of exiting, take one step in stride with the escalator and continue on without any fault. Above average, take one step with the half stride or longer stride, causing you to nearly miss the solid ground or nearly run into the people in front of you, respectively. Average, take shuffle steps and jump off the escalator. Below average, trip on the solid ground when exiting as if you didn't know it was there. And finally, failure, jumping off the escalator before you reach the end of it. So that is our escalator riding rubric. For more information, you can see our assessment resources page 6979, see ourcampus.com, or buy the 2005 book Introduction to Rubrics, an assessment tool to save grading time, convey effective feedback, and promote student learning by D.D. Stevens and A.J. Levy. Thank you for watching Assessment Academy training video. If you have any questions or need additional help, you can contact me, Ryan Rose, at rrose@siena.edu or dial 6912 anywhere on campus. Thanks for watching.